Welcome students. Welcome to the lecture series on oscillation. So in our last lecture we have discussed about damped oscillation. Now today we will discuss the mathematical treatment behind the damped oscillation. So there will be three conditions: over damping, critical damping and low damping case. So today we are going to talk about these three conditions in case of damped oscillation. So we know for the damped oscillation there is a retarding force. So usually this retarding force is taken as proportional to the velocity. So we can write this retarding force as minus Rm dx dt. So here this minus sign, this negative sign implies that this force is a opposing or retarding force and Rm is a proportionality constant. So the differential equation for our SHM case was m d2x dt2 plus sx equal to 0. Now we have to introduce damping in this equation. So we have to introduce this extra force term in this equation. So our differential equation will be m d2x dt2 plus rm dx dt plus sx equal to 0. Now we can write that equation in the form of d2x dt2 plus rm by m dx dt plus s by m x equal to 0, and we define Rm by m as 2 alpha and S by m equal to omega 0 square. So this equation becomes d2x dt2 plus 2 alpha dx dt plus omega 0 square x equal to 0. So this is a second order linear homogeneous equation, differential equation. So now we have to solve this equation. So let us start. So we will follow the same procedure we have discussed in my first couple of lectures, that how to solve a second order differential equation. So we take the trial solution to be x equal to e to the power minus alpha t ft being any function of time t. So that equation now reduces to t2f dt2 plus omega 0 square minus alpha square into f equal to 0. So now our job to solve this equation. So there will be three cases. The same thing we have discussed when we are solving the second order differential equation. Now you see, in physics we are applying the mathematics. As I have talked about that whenever we do mathematics there will be some physics behind it. Now we will apply that mathematical idea in my physical problem, real life physical problem. So in the large damping case, your alpha will be greater than omega 0. That means your Rm square is greater than 4Sm. So this is the condition for large damping. So you can just put the value of alpha and omega 0 and you will end up with Rm square greater than 4Sm, this condition. So the general solution becomes this: x equal to e to the power minus alpha t, a e to the power root over alpha square minus omega 0 square t plus b e to the power minus root over alpha square minus omega 0 square t. So you remember, this is the same solution when we solve the second order differential equation with this condition. Okay. So due to this e to the power minus alpha t term, this x means the displacement gradually diminishes with time and the motion finally ceases. That means as the time progresses, this term e to the power minus alpha t goes to 0, and that implies your displacement x also goes to 0. So this motion is actually aperiodic, overdamped or dead weight. Okay. So this is a non-oscillatory motion, means your oscillator under large damping is no more oscillating and it is heavily damped. Okay. Now we have to calculate the constant, that those two arbitrary constant a and b. So for that we write lambda 1 lambda 2 as lambda 1 equal to minus alpha plus root over alpha square minus omega 0 square, and lambda 2 as minus alpha minus root over alpha square minus omega 0 square. Now if we put these two values, my x will be a e to the power lambda 1 t plus b e to the power lambda 2 t. Now we take the boundary condition. That means at the initial stage, when t equal to 0, your displacement is x0 and your velocity is v0. So this is my given boundary condition. Now you put lambda t equal to 0 here, this equation, and put x equal to x0. Then you take the derivative of this equation. Then you take you will get the velocity v. Again you put t equal to 0, then you get actually two equations in terms of x0 and v0. Then you have to solve for a and b, and you will get those two arbitrary constants as a equal to x0 lambda 2 minus v0 by lambda 2 minus lambda 1, and b equal to v0 minus x0 lambda 1 by lambda 2 minus lambda 1. So now we also know the arbitrary constant, so we know the total solution. Now coming to the second case, here your alpha, your returning constant term, which means alpha is directly related to the retarding force, is equal to omega 0, the free vibration term. That means your Rm square is now equal to 4Sm. So this condition is called critical damping condition. So the general solution for this critical damping case becomes x equal to c plus dt e to the power minus alpha t. So this is the same solution we got when we are solving the second order linear differential equation, what we have discussed in my first couple of lectures. Now physically what does it mean? It means the motion is also aperiodic in this case, but your displacement x reaches the final value more quickly compared to the over damping case. So this motion is called the critically damped motion. That means this motion is also aperiodic, but something different from over damping case, because here it comes to 0, your displacement comes to 0 more quickly compared to the over damping case. Now again we have to calculate the arbitrary constants c and d. Again you put your initial conditions at t equal to 0, x equal to x0 and v equal to v0, and you will end up with the values of c and d as c equal to x0 and d equal to v0 plus omega 0 x0. So again you know the two arbitrary constants, so you know the total solution. Now we are going to the third condition, which is the low damping case. So the condition is your alpha is less than omega 0, that means your Rm square is less than 4Sm. So the general solution will be x equal to a e to the power minus alpha t cos root over omega 0 square minus alpha square t minus epsilon. So this motion is oscillatory. So it is different from your last two cases, that over damping case and critically damping case. In those cases your motion was not oscillatory, those were aperiodic. But in this case this is oscillatory because you have the cos term. So this motion is oscillatory with a period of 2 pi by root over omega 0 square minus alpha square. So your time period changes and your amplitude as a e to the power alpha t. So your amplitude also changes, means it is no more constant. Your time period is also no more constant, but your motion is oscillatory. So for low damping case you get oscillatory motion, means periodic motion, but with a decreasing amplitude. Now you calculate the constants a and epsilon. In that equation a and epsilon was two arbitrary constants. So again you put the boundary condition as t equal to 0, x equal to x0 and v equal to v0. Using this condition you get a and cos epsilon as these two terms. So now you know the total solution for the low damping case. So up till now this is your mathematical expression regarding your damping case, means your damped motion. Now you see physically what we get. So we have plotted the displacement as a function of time for the three cases, the over damping case, critically damping case and under damping case, means the low damping case. So for the over damping case you see this amplitude goes to 0, and for critically damping case also this amplitude goes to 0, but for critically damping case it goes to 0 more faster or more quickly compared to the over damping case. Okay, so what is this? This means your oscillator starts oscillating. Okay, your oscillator starts oscillating, but it cannot cover the equilibrium position and it comes to 0. At 0 means your equilibrium position. So it start oscillating. Whenever it comes to the equilibrium position, it just stops there. Okay, and for the under damping case the amplitude is decreasing. but it is oscillating for some time. After some time it goes to 0. So you see your amplitude is decreasing, and this parameter is your actually e to the power minus alpha theta. So it is decreasing exponentially. If you connect this maxima of this amplitude, you get the exponential e to the power minus alpha theta. So this is the oscillatory motion for the under damping case. So your amplitude is not constant, it is decreasing, and your frequency is also reduces due to this damping. Now see physically, for your, and first we discuss the over damping case and the critical damping case. You see, when it is oscillating, it is not oscillating. When it is coming to the equilibrium position, it just stops there. Okay, but for the under damping case, it is oscillating, and with time its motion ceases and it comes to 0. But for over damping and critical damping case, it is not oscillating. Okay, for the first time it comes to 0 at the first end. See, it's come to 0. But the critical damping case, it comes faster compared to the over damping case, and for under damping case it keeps oscillating but with decreasing amplitude, and after some time it comes to 0. Again we can see that for these three damping cases, the critical damping case, it comes to 0 more quickly compared to the over damping case, and for under damping case, see, it comes more quickly, and for under damping case it is oscillating but with decreasing amplitude, and after some time it comes to 0. So what we have learned today, we have discussed about over damping case, critically damping case, and low damping case. Okay.